approve this budget. I think it was prudent. I think it was a good proposal. I'm kind of baffled of what we're going to be looking at for next week. That'll be any different. And I think I better keep my mouth shut from here on out. Supervisor Pinches.
Thank you. I haven't given up in trying to resolve this today. And I'd like to remind the board that on a $224 million budget spending plan, and that's what it is, it's a spending plan for the year going forward. The difference of $20,000, $30,000, you know what that difference is? That means that if one deputy quits or retires, or one person in the CEO's office or the county council's office quits or retires, and if you have a 3-month period before you can replace that position, there's your $30,000 right there. We're not talking about nothing here. The only reason by law, we have to adopt a balanced budget. And with a balanced budget, we don't have an audit exception in our next audit review. That's the importance of arguing over $20,000, $30,000. In reality, when we move forward with this plan, it virtually means nothing. Because we all know, we all have every year experienced people leaving the system through early retirement because a family member's sick and they got to move back east. There's all kinds of different reasons. But that's what we're talking about in a spending plan here, is if a general fund department, whether it's building planning, county council, attorney, district attorney, sheriff or jail, it means that if one person quits or retires or goes on disability, whatever, and we only have a 3-month gap before that position is filled, we've made up the $30,000. We're not talking about nothing here. Why extend something another week? I think our staff has better things to do and work into the issues that Supervisor Delbar and Supervisor Colfax were talking about. Let's be realistic about what we're doing here. Just keep in mind, this is a spending plan. This is not dead cut in the way it's going to be for the next year. There's going to be all kinds of variations, as we well know. We're going to have lawsuit settlements we might get money for. We might have lawsuit settlements we lose. We're going to have, probably in over 100 buildings, we're going to have a roof replacement that has to be done that we don't know about today. Let's don't hold this up over $30,000 or cut out like the Resource Conservation District when it's going to bring in a lot of money. But let's move this forward. I'm not willing to give up yet here today.
Thank you, Supervisor. You're painting a picture of the pit bull you keep talking about. Supervisor Colfax, and then to the CEO.
Yeah, it's not a question of 30,000. It's not a question of 50,000. It's a question of whether or not we're going to deal with the landfill. Okay, question whether we're going to take money from the landfill. Are you prepared to commit to not taking money from the landfill? Do we have a balanced budget then? Are you going to commit to funding all of those outside requests? Will we then have a balanced budget? No. Is that correct?
Yes, under my motion an hour ago, it would have funded all of those outside requests. It would have took $185,466 from the solid waste budget plus the other adjustments, and it would left us with a $10,000.
Well, that's just, in other words, we're reaching into one pocket and pulling it out of another. It's same old, same old. I was hoping that there was some way we could resolve it without talking about $225,000 is what we're bickering about now, and not addressing those issues that are more fundamental. I think that's really the issue. Nobody's holding this up for $20,000. We're holding it up for probably a couple $100,000, to put it simply, and those $200,000 or so dollars are critical in this whole process. I want to see people responding. I want to see staff responding to the fact that supervisors, I almost said stupevisors, they respond to what is being presented and saying it's not good enough. We have to do something better. I'm prepared at some point here to further down the line to deal, not as a conservative, but as a fiscal conservative, and I've always been a fiscal conservative. And the point here being is that we have an obligation here to look at how we can protect our workforce, at the same time be responsible. I think some of our managers have not been protecting the workforce and throwing this back upon us. And so in that sense here, we need to be more effective in dealing responsibly with how we hire and fire and deal with our staff. I think here it's not, again, it's not $30,000 or $50,000. I'd hate for people to walk out of here thinking we're bickering over that. I'm bickering over the fact is promises not delivered. Attention must be paid. Attention must be paid to the fact is we have not followed through year after year after year. And that's why when they put up that chart there, we wonder, who in the hell let us get into this teeter mess that we are in? And I tell you, we could probably put up a few more charts that would tell us about some other messes that we haven't yet really been brave enough to bring out into the open. Leave it at that.
Mr. Mitchell?
Well, and we do need to get a set of numbers together. It will take us time for the auditor and the CEO staff to balance out our numbers to present to you on the 16th. If we could find a motion somewhere between all of this discussion that allows us to go forward